Unlock the hidden truths of letting go, where the unimaginable awakes within you. I never expected a single dream to change everything. One night, I sank into sleep, the moonlight piercing through my curtains like a whisper of secrets. The world melted away until I found myself in a forest, thick with mist that clung to my skin like an embrace. It smelled alive, earthy and rich. In that mystical place, shadows danced, but there was something more, a pulsing energy, an unseen force weaving through the air. I stood there, heart racing, feeling the weight of 1,000 spirits brushing past me, begging for recognition. I was alone in a crowd of the unseen. Even in my dreams, doubt wrapped around me like a heavy cloak. What was I doing here? Was this real, or just a figment of my wandering mind? Just then, I saw a flicker of light through the trees. A shimmer, like a star fallen to earth. I felt drawn to it, each step vibrating through the ground, echoes of the ritualistic drumbeats guiding me. It felt like walking towards my own fate. Those whispers in the wind felt familiar, almost as if they were urging me towards something I had been searching for all my life. An answer, but what question remained unanswered? As I approached the light, it pulsed warmly, whispering promises of the unimaginable. But just before I reached it, the shadows shifted. They seemed to close in, threatening to swallow the light whole. My chest tightened, breath caught in my throat. An icy chill shivered through me. Was I meant to step forward, or would I be swallowed by this darkness? A rush of uncertainty crashed over me. I was lost in the tension of it all, the clarity of choice battling against the weight of the unknown. What if I turned back? What if I plunged deeper? How could I let go of the fears that held me captive? The light was bright, yet that darkness loomed larger, and then, everything went still. A hush enveloped the forest. In that silence, I felt it, a question. A seed of doubt that blossomed in my mind. What awaited me if I dared to let go? The edges of my vision blurred, reality slipping away, leaving me hanging, desperately grasping for clarity. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. In the stillness of that enchanted forest, time seemed to stretch and fold upon itself, revealing infinite layers of possibility. My heart quickened, racing like a wild river, as I resolved to close my eyes and embrace the encroaching darkness. My fingers tingled with anticipation, and with each passing moment, I felt the boundaries of my fear beginning to dissolve. Then a rustling stirred through the shadows, and I opened my eyes to find an old man standing before me. His face was weathered, etched with deep lines that spoke of wisdom gathered over eons. His eyes sparkled with a knowing light that matched the pulsing glow behind him. There was an aura about him, a guide perhaps, a keeper of secrets. He balanced on the cusp of reality and dreams, his presence a bridge between what I knew and what I yearned to understand. Do not fear the shadows, for they are simply the parts of you yet to be embraced, he spoke, his voice a melodious echo of the forest itself. In surrender, you shall find strength. In letting go, you unearth the unimaginable. I studied him. His essence felt like a pictorial tapestry of experiences both joyous and sorrowful. The weight of his wisdom pressed against my chest, urging me to explore the landscapes of my own soul. What did I cling to that no longer served me? The questions spiraled around me like autumn leaves caught in a brisk breeze. Why is it so hard to release those ties? I finally breathed, my voice trembling on the cusp of revelation. Fear holds the anchor, he replied, stepping closer, as if to share a secret meant for only my ears. But realize this, every item you relinquish creates space for the new. The unimaginable thrives not in certainty but in the daring act of becoming more of yourself. His words struck chords within me, resonating with deeper truths. I felt the shadows shift, reflecting the turmoil I carried within. Faces emerged in the dim light, both familiar and unrecognizable, swirling in a dance of memories I had tucked away. Old grudges, lost loves, paths untaken all clamored for attention, wanting to be acknowledged before departing. In that moment, the old man gestured towards the shimmering light that beckoned me forward. What accompanies your soul on this journey? What burdens do you wish to leave behind? Only you can decide what stays and what goes. I took a deep breath, the sense of damp earth and wildflowers weaving around me, stirring something dormant. The pulse of the light grew stronger, as if inviting me to step forward, to shed the layers that weighed me down. Releasing my doubts was akin to stepping into a river, the flowing waters propelling me toward unknown shores. What if, beyond this light, lay a truth that would redefine my existence, yet still, uncertainty coiled like a serpent in my stomach? What if the unimaginable held truths I was unprepared to face? I needed answers, a glimpse of what was to come. To seek freedom is to confront your fears, he said softly, as if sensing my internal battle. Persevere beyond the obstacles, find solace in vulnerability. And with that, the shadows shrank, drawn away from the light. The air shimmered, a translucent veil raised between my apprehension and the unknown. Clenching my fists, I forced my feet to move, willing myself to take the plunge into warmth and illumination, but with every step, I heard whispers of old regrets trailing behind, their tendrils reaching out for one last embrace. Would I genuinely be able to let go of everything that shaped me up to this point? As I ventured closer to the light, uncertainty morphed into a swirling array of questions. What awaited me beyond this convergence of light and dark? Would I uncover hidden truths or lose parts of myself forever? I felt the weight of my spirit straining against the invisible chains I had forged. Clarity eluded me like a mirage, hope flickered like a distant star. As I stood before the threshold, I knew I was on the cusp of something transformative, yet the answers remained veiled, shimmering like the scattered pieces of my own heart, now suspended between the realms of letting go and awakening. If the unimaginable lay beyond, might there still be more questions than answers waiting for me at the end of this journey? The light enveloped me, a cocoon of warmth and clarity, yet the air crackled with the weight of unanswered questions. I braced myself for the revelation, the moment when the shimmering curtain between my past and my future would unfurl. But rather than a single truth, I found myself standing in a vast expanse, a kaleidoscope of realities swirling around me. As I gazed around, the colors ebbed and flowed like waves on a sea of consciousness. Each hue resonated with a different emotion, a forgotten memory, or a dream unfulfilled. Shadows danced at the edges, whispering secrets that shimmered just beyond the reach of reason. From within this surreal landscape, I sensed curious eyes watching me, flickering spirits that felt familiar yet foreign. Welcome, a soft voice echoed through the kaleidoscope, gentle as the stirrings of dawn. A figure emerged from the vibrant hues, a woman clad in robes of shifting colors, her expression radiating both strength and compassion. I am the keeper of truths, the weaver of paths, born from the light you sought. Is this the unimaginable? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. The weight of her presence beckoned me closer, yet I hesitated, aware that whatever these truths were, they held the power to unravel the very fabric of my existence. In many ways, yes, she replied, stepping forward until only an arm's length separated us. But remember, the unimaginable is not merely a destination, it is also an exploration of the self. To find what you seek, you must first uncover what resides within you. The world around us pulsed in response, the colors shifting in time with the erratic beats of my heart. Do you wish to let go of what anchors you, or do you seek to understand it? She asked, her gaze penetrating my soul. I felt the rush of memories flooding back, each a strand connected to my identity. Joys mingled with heartaches, hopes entangled with fears. Could I truly confront them without losing who I was? I swallowed hard. Am afraid of losing parts of myself. Loss is a teacher, not a villain. Consider this, every thread you cling to defines a piece of your story, but there are countless other narratives waiting to be woven into your tapestry. The act of letting go is akin to pruning a garden, nurturing new growth while honoring the old. Her explanation sank deep, sparking a flicker of understanding. What if the fear was merely a mirror reflecting my resistance to change? Everything I held onto was not just a source of pain but also of lessons learned, threads to be woven anew. Am I ready? I murmured, sensing the weight of uncertainty still tethering me. The swirling colors around us hesitated, as if waiting for my answer, urging me to find the courage to transcend my fears. Only you hold the key to that certainty, she replied, a knowing smile gracing her lips. Explore, confront, and embrace what lies hidden. What awaits is not just illumination but also a deeper connection to yourself, the very essence of who you are becoming. As her words circulated through me, the shadows began to dance again, coaxing me further into the vibrant mosaic. I closed my eyes, allowing the memories to wash over me, laughter, the tears, the moments when I felt most alive. Each experience shimmered, lifting the heaviness from my chest. Could I release my fears and embrace a new narrative? A single question hung in the air, potent and compelling. What if, in relinquishing control and embracing the unknown, would discover not only hidden truths but also the authentic voice that longed to be heard? As I opened my eyes, ready to venture deeper, I felt an intoxicating mix of apprehension and exhilaration. The journey for meaning had awakened something profound within me, an understanding that letting go was not an end, but rather a beginning, one that held the promise of connection and rediscovery. And as I moved forward, the question lingered like a melody, echoing softly: how do we navigate the labyrinth of our souls, learning to welcome both the light and the darkness, without losing our way? I stepped further into the realms of shifting colors, feeling the energy swirl around me like the breath of a gentle wind. Each hue whispered its own secrets, and I sensed the presence of multiple paths laid out before me, shimmering with untapped potential. It was as though I stood on the edge of a great forest, where every direction offered a different adventure, each path cradled in the illumination of realizations yet to be uncovered. As I walked, the ground beneath me pulsed with life. The colors deepened and became more pronounced, reflecting the state of my inner world. I paused to close my eyes again, letting the vibrations wash over me, grounding my thoughts and fears in this vibrant reality. Was I truly ready to confront what lay beyond the surface? A ripple of energy danced back towards me from a nearby cluster of radiant light. Compelled by an unseen force, I approached, and as I drew near, the brilliance dimmed slightly, revealing a portal entwined in vines of gold and emerald. It beckoned, inviting me to step through, promising sights and truths that had long eluded me. Taking a deep breath, I lunged into the shimmering space, enveloped instantly by a kaleidoscope of sensations. I landed gently in a sun-drenched clearing, the air thick with fragrances of wildflowers and earthy tones. A tall oak stood grandly at its center, its ancient bark etched with lines of wisdom, whispering stories of time spent weaving itself into the canvas of existence. At the foot of the tree, a figure emerged from the sunlight, a boy no older than 10, with bright eyes filled with the curiosity of an untamed spirit. He approached me shyly, then stood resolutely, his tiny hands clasped in front of him. Do you seek answers? He asked, his voice clear and bright, reminiscent of the songs that floated through the woods. I do, I replied, surprised at my own certainty. But they always seem to elude me. The boy nodded knowingly, as if this were a familiar refrain. Answers are like sunlight, sometimes they filter through leaves, casting shadows that lead to more questions. What do you seek most in your heart? I paused, letting the weight of his inquiry sink in. The exploration I had begun was not merely about uncovering knowledge, it was a quest for understanding my own desires and truths. I seek to know how to let go of the burdens that define me, I finally confessed. I want to find the courage to explore what's hidden within. A soft smile crossed his face, and he stepped back, gesturing to the magnificent oak. This tree knows loss, it has shed leaves and branches many times over. Yet, look how it stands tall, its roots holding strong to the earth. Every piece it lets go of makes room for new growth. You must learn from it. As I absorbed his words, something rustled in the grass beside the oak. I turned to see a vibrant butterfly emerge, its wings azure in pattern and energy. It flitted gracefully between my hands, inviting me to touch its wings, but always just beyond my grasp. Let it show you, the boy whispered, his voice both guiding and challenging. Let it take you deeper into your fears. Do you dare follow it? With a surge of determination, I nodded. The butterfly beckoned, guiding me away from the safety of the oak and into a wilder part of the forest, where the vibrancy shifted to dusk and shadows began their tapestry. I felt alive, filled with both exhilaration and a tinge of fear. Each fluttering movement of the creature danced with lessons that had yet to be revealed. As I traversed the dense foliage, the journey naturally became one of reflection, forcing me to confront darker memories that lay in the recesses of my mind, moments of disappointment, lost opportunities, connections severed by neglect. They rose to the surface like phantoms, ghostly echoes reminding me of what I had tried so hard to forget, but through the trembling leaves, I saw the butterfly pause on a petal, urging me to respect the weight of those experiences. Embrace the lessons of your past, for they shape your present, it seemed to say, its wings vibrating with resonance. I took a breath, allowing the shadows to speak without judgment. In this sacred space, I found the courage to invite those ghosts into the light, acknowledging their presence as part of my story, not merely the burdens that weighed me down, but just as clarity began to pierce the fog, the butterfly took flight again, leading me deeper into the unknown. It danced gracefully around a new clearing where a shimmering lake reflected the twilight sky, a liminal space between light and dark. The waters appeared calm, but I sensed a current beneath, a reminder that even the most serene surfaces can hold turbulence below. Standing at the water's edge, I gazed into its depth. The surface rippled as memories surged forth like reflections in the moonlight. I could sense my heart still pounding with unasked questions, echoing the mingling vibrations of the unseen world. What truths remained hidden beneath this stillness? What of my fears? What untold stories awaited to be told? As I pondered these questions, the boy appeared by my side once more, his innocent gaze reflecting empathy and wisdom beyond his years. Each ripple speaks of what is yet to be discovered. There is beauty in what you cannot yet see. His words echoed as I prepared to dive beneath the surface. I heard only the soft lapping of water against the shore and the faint rustle of leaves in the gentle wind. Each sound became a heartbeat in my journey, an invitation to plunge into the depths of both my vulnerabilities and strengths, to uncover the vastness of my soul's landscape. With a heart full of hope and trepidation, I took a step toward the shimmering water, ready to embrace the unknown. Could I find the beauty within the ripples, or would I drown in the weight of unanswered questions? What truths lay dormant beneath the surface, waiting for the courage to awaken? As I entered the stillness of the lake, the cool water enveloped me like a comforting shroud. The sensation of the surface breaking gave way to a world murkier yet rich with colors and whispers. I floated, suspended between realms, as if hovering between consciousness and the depths of my own psyche. Beneath me, shadows swirled, indiscernible figures flitting in and out of focus, mirroring my tangled thoughts. With each breath, I submerged deeper, drawn by an unexplainable longing to connect with the stories hidden in this murky abyss. Strands of memories entwined with fantasies glided past me, first steps, the laughter of loved ones, my fears of inadequacy, and all surrounded by a cloud of iridescence that felt both daunting and familiar. Each memory shimmered, some breaking apart into radiant sparks while others faded into smoky silhouettes. Then, a familiar voice echoed through the depths: the journey does not reside only in the destination, but in the wisdom of experiencing everything in between. I looked around, startled to find an elderly figure swimming gracefully beside me, cloaked in light. Her hair flowed like tendrils of seaweed, green and silver, cascading with the rhythm of my heartbeat. "Who are you?" I asked, my voice muffled in the water. "I am the keeper of secrets," she said, her gaze penetrating, swirling with the wisdom of ages. "You have ventured deeper than many dare, and in doing so, you unveil layers of your being." "Layered?" I questioned, confusion mingling with intrigue. "What more lies beneath the surface?" "I thought I had a grasp of my fears. The surface holds only reflections," she replied, gesturing toward a fragment of memory glinting in the water, piquing my curiosity. I swam closer, the memory erupting into a vivid scene. My younger self, clutching a crumpled letter, trembling in quiet despair as I prepared to open it. The moment echoed painfully, evoking the feelings of trepidation and hope that had once intertwined in my chest. the letters of the past are often our heaviest burdens, the keeper continued, nudging a piece of the memory into the currents, letting it swirl away. Yet, letting go does not mean forgetting. It means carrying the lessons with grace. As I watched the crumpled letter fade, a sense of release washed over me, mingling with sadness. I was not merely losing experiences, I was selecting the ones to carry forward, slowly shedding the excess weight. Can I retrieve the lost pieces? I implored, only if they are meant to guide you, not anchor you. She pointed to another shadow looming on the edges of my vision. It elongated, shifting, and as it grew clearer, I realized it was a sorrowful figure, myself, caged by self-doubt, spectating my aspirations, too terrified to take a leap. Face him, the keeper urged gently. He embodies your fears, but he also holds the key to transformation. With a fluttering heart, I swam to that shadowed self, who looked back at me with eyes clouded by despair. I cannot go further, it claimed, trembling. Why not? I countered, reaching out with a tentative hand. Because I don't know how, it replied, and vulnerability rippled through the space between us. I don't know how to let go of the safety of what I know, the comfort of my fears. In that moment, I realized that this shadow was not my enemy, but a part of me that needed love and acceptance, a fragment of my spirit trapped in the very act of clinging to the past. I took a deep breath and shared my understanding, allowing compassion to flow from me like sunlight cutting through the fog surrounding the lake. You have wisdom too, I whispered to the shadow. But we can find strength in growth. Together, we can uncover the beauty hidden in these depths. As the word settled in the water like a promise, a golden ball of light emerged from my heart, suspended in the murky depths. It illuminated the shadows, mingling with the figures of my past. The sorrow faded into understanding, shimmering in harmony as we held space for one another. The keeper smiled, her presence radiating approval. You are learning to unearth the truth from within. The way forward is forged by facing your fears and welcoming them as allies in your journey. I felt the urgency within pressing against the water's resistance, an invitation to rise once more to the surface. The reflections revealed fragments of light that sparkled through the layers of the lake, refracting truths that seemed to whisper promises of strength, courage, and release. As I propelled upward, my heart was alight with newfound energy. I breached the surface, gasping for air, tasting the sweetness of liberation. The boy stood waiting at the water's edge, a knowing smile on his face as if he had been anticipating my return. What did you find? He asked, eyes bright with curiosity. I found that letting go leads to understanding, I replied, breathless yet invigorated. I needed to embrace my fragmented self before I could begin to heal. His grin widened. The depths are vast, yet they hold both weight and light within. There is always more to uncover. I turned my gaze back towards the shimmering surface of the water, wondering what other pieces of my story lay intertwined beneath its depths. What further lessons awaited in the shadows of my own history? In this moment, I realized the journey was not just about answers, it was about cultivating a relationship with the questions themselves. How could I let the unseen guide me? How could I transform my burdens into stepping stones on my path? As I stood in that vibrant clearing, the magic of the forest refreshed my spirit, echoing with the possibilities of what still lay ahead. The journey was far from complete, and mystery still danced on the horizon, inviting me to explore the uncharted territories of my own soul. As I lingered at the edge of the lake, each droplet that tumbled from my fingertips mirrored the radiant shards of consciousness forming within me. The air, thick with anticipation, enveloped me like a comforting embrace, and the rustling of leaves above seemed to carry whispers of wisdom long forgotten, echoing truths of the earth and sky intertwined. Are you ready for more? The boy's voice cut through my reverie. His eagerness was intoxicating, urging me to chase the mysteries that danced in the corners of my mind. I nodded, excitement bubbling up, but a hint of trepidation curled in my stomach. The keeper had shown me the depths of my fears. What more could this journey unveil? We ventured deeper into the forest, the path illuminated by flickers of light that resembled tiny stars falling from the world above. Each step felt significant, as though the very ground was alive, whispering encouragement beneath the soles of my feet. The trees, ancient sentinels cloaked in moss, arched overhead, their trunks thick and sturdy as if guarding sacred secrets. What else lies in the depths? I mused aloud, heart racing with a hunger for discovery. The unseen often holds the most profound truths, he replied softly. Sometimes, we fear to confront those truths, but they can illuminate our path. His demeanor shifted, eyes gleaming with an understanding I had yet to grasp fully. Suddenly, a light breeze circled around us, carrying the scent of damp earth mixed with the sweetness of wild blossoms. A fluttering from above caught my attention almost as if the forest itself was alive and speaking through the rustling of leaves and playful wind. From the branches of an elder tree, a silver-winged creature descended, gliding gracefully on the air currents. It landed softly beside us, revealing itself as a delicate, luminous butterfly with iridescent wings that shimmered like opals. Its presence held a calm wisdom, inviting curiosity to ripple through me. Ah, the whisperer of change, the boy murmured with a gleam in his eye. She arrives to unveil your next lesson. Instinctively drawn toward the enchanting creature, I reached out, and it rested gently on my fingertips. What truth do you carry? I asked, almost in a whisper. The butterfly flapped its delicate wings, and a wave of warmth radiated from its presence, enveloping me in a cocoon of serenity. In that moment, images flooded my mind, vivid vignettes of transformation. I witnessed flowers shifting from closed buds to vibrant blooms, the shedding of autumn leaves surrendering seeds of renewal, all while the butterfly itself, untouched by fear, cast away its cocoon to embrace flight. Transformation is the essence of life, the creature communicated, not with words but with vibrant colors and gentle fluttering. Embrace change and the unknown. You possess the power to evolve, but first, release the attachment to what you believe defines you. I gasped as the weight of her message settled within, resonating with chambers of my spirit that longed for freedom yet existed in uncertainty. How do I let go without losing myself? The butterfly hovered close, its wings casting bursts of iridescent light that danced in my vision, each flicker igniting an understanding. It was not about dissolving my essence but weaving the threads of my past into the tapestry of my present, each strand a lesson learned. With newfound clarity, I turned to the boy. What if I allow time to guide me? What if all these layers of fear become tools for growth rather than anchors? You begin to grasp it, he affirmed, a smile reaching his eyes. Every fear is a teacher, each uncertainty a stepping stone. The path is ceaseless, evolving just as you are. As the butterfly departed, a golden shimmer traced its flight, and I took a moment to reflect on the vastness of transformation that awaited me. The depths of my fears, the shadows of my past, the cravings for understanding, they were not adversaries, but part of an intricate dance I had chosen. We continued onward, deeper into the woods, where the light began to shift. Dappled beams peeked through towering branches, casting playful patterns on the forest floor. Yet, an enigmatic stillness enveloped us, as though the air was charged with unspoken potential. I closed my eyes, breathing in the earthy aroma, and felt the heartbeat of the forest pulse in rhythm with my own. A question stirred within me, rumbling like thunder beneath the surface of my thoughts. What does true transformation require? Am I ready to embrace the uncomfortable shifts and unearth the strength I know resides within? With each step, the question echoed gently, propelling me forward, compelling me to confront the shadows and bask in the light they could reveal. I realized, in that moment of stillness amidst the vibrant foliage, that transformation was not simply a release, it was an awakening, a commitment to journey deeper into the unseen facets of my soul. As we moved further into the heart of the forest, the air thickened with mystery. The canopy overhead turned into a delicate tapestry of greens and browns, filtering the sunlight into a soft, golden glow that bathed the ground in warmth. Each footfall sent tremors of excitement through the soil, as if the earth itself responded to our purpose. What lies ahead? I inquired, curiosity bubbling within me. The grove of echoes is near, the boy replied. It's where your past and present may collide, revealing pieces of yourself you have yet to uncover. The very name sent a shiver down my spine. The concept of echo, soft voice and memory intertwining, prompted a deep yearning to understand the layers of my existence. What shadows would I encounter here? What fragments of my past awaited me? we arrived at a sun-drenched glade encircled by trees that towered like ancient giants, their knotted branches reaching skyward. In the center, an enormous rock formation stood resolutely, draped with vibrant moss and dotted with wildflowers as if nature itself had draped it in a cloak of honor. It was mesmerizing. "Sit and listen," the boy instructed, motioning toward the rock. "The Grove of Echoes is not just a place, it is a resonance of your spirit. Every regret, joy, and lesson is alive here. Open your mind, and you may hear what you need." I breathed deeply, allowing the tranquility to seep into my bones. As I settled onto the cool stone, I closed my eyes and leaned into the stillness around me. Slowly, faint whispers began to reach my ears. Hushed tones, laughter, cries, and sighs swelled and waned like the gentle ebb and flow of the tide. Ghosts of moments past, images began to unfurl behind my eyelids like flower petals blooming in time-lapse. A childhood game played in the fading light of dusk, laughter bursting through the air like fireworks. A moment of heartbreak under a rainy sky, tears mingling with raindrops. A moment of triumph when I overcame an obstacle, fists raised in victory. Each echo brought a rush of emotion, a patchwork of my mosaic identity, yet beneath these memories, darker tones resonated too, moments when I felt invisible, or when my voice trembled and faded into silence, moments of doubt that had woven themselves into my being. My heart tightened as I confronted these echoes, uncomfortable but undeniably part of me. Why must I face this? I thought, grappling with the weight of nostalgia and regret. Because they shape you, the boy's voice cut through the cacophony. Each echo, each fragment, carries a lesson. They guide your growth, but they also need to be released. But how do I release what feels so foundational? I questioned, the tension within me rising. The whispers transformed momentarily, evolving into a singular, resonant tone, a deep, sonorous vibration that reverberated through my very core. As I opened my eyes, I could almost see the essence of the echoes swirling around me like iridescent mist. "Imagine them as clouds," the boy continued, his eyes steady and piercing. "They float in the sky of your mind, sometimes dark and thunderous, other times bright and buoyant. Let them pass, don't hold them tight. Each cloud has its time, but they needn't linger forever." I understood then that my fears, me connections to moments that shaped who I was, could coexist with the aspirations of who I wished to become. I could honor the past while still forging a new path, every echo embracing its dual role as both a teacher and a shadow of my potential. As I began to visualize the clouds of memory passing, I felt an immense release, a cleansing in my spirit akin to the act of exhaling, liberating yet raw. The boy's words wrapped around me, a gentle reminder to nurture each part of myself while allowing my spirit to soar. Yet, just as clarity began to dawn, an unsettling thought emerged. If all aspects of my past were meant to guide me, what about the unknown? What awaited beyond this grove? Would new echoes rise to replace the old, and could I truly harness change as a form of empowerment? With uncertainty flickering in my mind like fireflies at dusk, I opened my heart to possibility. Standing once again against the backdrop of the immense rock, I reflected on the transformative beauty of my journey thus far. As we prepared to leave the Grove of Echoes, I felt a swell of motivation blooming within. What awaits beyond the familiar? What new truths lie in the depths of surrendering to evolution itself? Would I dare to meet the horizon of my own becoming? I took a deep breath, savoring the spirit of the glade, and allowed these contemplations to settle, nudging me further along this sacred path I was embarking upon. As we left the Grove of Echoes, I felt as though I was stepping out of a dream, emerging onto a trail that twisted and turned through thick underbrush and rustling leaves. The world around me had taken on a new vibrancy, colors sharper, sounds clearer, as if the very air crackled with energy. The potential of the unknown whispered to me, urging me forward, but a hint of apprehension still lingered just beneath the surface, a shadow from the past reminding me of the risks that accompanied change. Where are we going now? I ventured, glancing toward the boy, who walked with a sense of purpose that both calmed and excited me. To the Fountain of Whispers, he replied, his eyes gleaming with an intensity that made my heart race. It is said to reveal the heart's desires, the truths we hide even from ourselves. This is a place of revelation, where you may uncover the desires nestled deep within your being. Thoughts swirled within me like mists, reawakening old dreams and aspirations I had set aside. What did I truly yearn for? In the echoes of my past, I had caught glimpses of what could be, fleeting images of an uninhibited life, filled with passion and purpose. Yet the questions continued to swirl. Was I ready to face those desires? Would the fountain reveal something I was unprepared to embrace? After what felt like hours of wandering, we reached a clearing that opened before us with grandeur. At the center was the fountain, ancient stones intricately carved with symbols of life and renewal, water sparkling as it poured forth from the mouth of a stone dragon. Sunlight danced on the surface, casting fragments of shimmering color. The air here sang with a melody of hope, mingling with the gentle trickling of water. Approach the fountain, the boy urged, gesturing toward its inviting surface. The whispers will guide you, bringing forth the voice of your deepest hopes and dreams. I approached cautiously, awe washing over me. Kneeling by the fountain's edge, I peered into the water's depths and felt an inexplicable pull. The surface mirrored my reflection, but beneath it, swirling images began to form, visions of a life I craved, filled with creativity and connection, of laughter shared under open skies, and a sense of belonging that seemed almost unattainable. As the images crystallized, I found myself enchanted by a particularly vivid scene, a sun-soaked sea, waves lapping at my feet as I stood with arms spread wide, fully embracing the shimmering horizon. I could feel the warmth of the sun on my skin and the exhilaration of the moment pulsing through my veins. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. What if I reach for those desires and fail? I whispered, overwhelmed by the intensity of my longing. Failure is but a stepping stone, the boy replied, his voice a gentle yet firm anchor amidst my swirling doubts. Each step taken, whether in triumph or setback, leads you closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. Listen to the whispers, they always speak the truth of your spirit's yearnings. Taking a deep breath, I closed my eyes and leaned closer to the fountain, allowing the whispers to seep into my heart, a soft susurration reminding me of the beauty of vulnerability and courage. Each gentle ripple of the water resonated as a reminder I was worthy of my dreams, that willingness to embrace both the light and darkness was integral to my journey. As I opened my eyes, a sense of clarity enveloped me like the embrace of an old friend. My heart thudded with renewed purpose, energy coursing through me as I envisioned the horizon once more, so rich with possibility, yet uncharted. I was fierce in my resolve to uncover the path ahead, yet questions filled my mind like stars dotting a night sky. What if I discovered desires I had long buried, or reconciled with fears that still clung to my spirit? Would I face them with open arms or retreat once more into the comfort of the familiar? Stepping away from the fountain, I felt as if I had just turned a corner on the map of my soul. A vibrant world lay before me, filled with potential and wonder. But with that awareness came the weight of uncertainty, a companion I could not shake off. As we began to walk, my thoughts circled like water pooling at the fountain's base. I wondered, what beautiful, daunting truths lay ahead waiting to be unveiled. How might I learn to dance with my desires and fears alike, harmonizing them into the symphony of my becoming? With every step, I felt the raw energy of awakening, ready to face whatever awaited me in the wild tapestry of life that was unfolding before my eyes. The path obeyed the gentle contours of the land, leading us deeper into a forest thick with life. Sunlight filtered through the canopy above, creating patterns that danced along the ground, nature's way of inviting us into a sacred dialogue. My heart, still buoyed by the whispers of the fountain, throbbed with anticipation. But as we moved further away from the clearing, I noticed an uneasy stillness creeping into the air, bristling with the secrets of the woods. The boy seemed undeterred, his pace steady as he turned to me, the corners of his mouth lifting into a smile that echoed his confidence. Each step brings you closer to understanding. What we fear often lies at the heart of our greatest transformation. His words seeped into my consciousness, stirring something within me that I hadn't yet comprehended. Fear had always hovered like a shroud, urging me to cling to safety rather than confront the deeper layers of myself. I exhaled sharply. Did courage truly come from facing the unknown, or was it a dance with the shadows that lurked beneath the surface? As if in answer, a figure emerged from the thicket on the right. She was clad in flowing robes of emerald and bronze, her hair cascading down her back like tendrils of ivy. Her eyes sparkled with wisdom, as if she were a part of the very forest itself. The air seemed to shift around her, vibrating with an energy that demanded my attention. "Welcome, seeker," she said, her voice soft yet resonant, like the very earth speaking. "I am the keeper of secrets. I guard the knowledge of those who have dared to listen to their hearts. What is it that you seek?" I glanced at the boy, who nodded in encouragement, a silent push to open my heart wider. "I want to understand what lies within me, truths I have yet to face, the dreams I have yet to embrace." The keeper studied me with eyes that held galaxies. To uncover one's truth is a sacred journey, but it is equally a journey of letting go. "Tell me, what are you holding to that no longer serves you?" The question reverberated through me, unraveling layers of my carefully constructed armor. I hesitated, feeling the weight of expectation. Would I dare to articulate the fears that had shadowed me for so long? The keeper's gaze remained steady, inviting me to peel back those inhibitions. I clung to the idea of safety. I began slowly, my voice emerging from the depths of my chest. I feared that if I stepped beyond the boundaries of what I know, I would lose myself, my peace, my path, my heart. Her smile deepened, a knowing light dancing in her eyes. "And in holding tightly to safety, what do you believe you are missing? What beauty might be waiting just beyond your grasp?" I mulled over her question, and, as I did, my previously imagined sun-soaked sea began to ripple in my mind. What beauty I might miss by shielding myself from possibility. In grappling with the prospect of loss, perhaps I had been blind to the splendor of what could be gained. The laughter, the connection, the vibrant tapestry of life unfurling before me. Tears prickled at the corners of my eyes as I realized that within my reluctance to let go lay a treasure trove of experiences waiting to unfold. "I want to embrace the uncertainty," I said at last, a conviction solidifying within me. "I long to dance with my fears, to weave them into my story rather than let them hold me back." The keeper inclined her head, her presence illuminating the forest around us. "Then let go, dear seeker. Release what no longer serves you, and make space for the wisdom that comes from embracing the entirety of your being." My heart raced. To let go was an act of brave surrender, an invitation to reshape my understanding of what it meant to be alive, vulnerable, radiant, and whole. I closed my eyes, drawing in a deep breath. I visualized my fears like autumn leaves, vibrant and curling, waiting to be freed by the wind. One by one, I released them, allowing them to float away into the ether. "Good," the keeper said gently. "In letting go, you welcome the unimaginable. Your heart becomes the canvas on which your greatest truths may paint themselves anew." As I opened my eyes, I felt a subtle shift, a lightness that carried promises yet unseen. But the questions remained, echoing in the expanse of my mind. What would these newfound truths reveal? Could I truly navigate this newfound freedom without succumbing to fear's familiar grasp? The thrum of the forest pulsated with every unanswered query, each one an invitation stretching out before me like an open road. With a heart alight with renewed curiosity, I turned to the boy, ready to take the next step into the unknown. What wonders awaited in the shadows, shimmering beyond the horizon of possibility? What if my journey toward self-discovery would unveil a path that felt both foreign and exhilarating? As I stood at the threshold of the unknown, the air hummed with anticipation, vibrating around me like a living thing. The keeper of secrets smiled gently, as if sensing the tide of change coursing through my veins. The boy, with his brightly gleaming eyes, was an embodiment of hope and faith, urging me onward toward the latent transformations waiting just beyond my fear. "Release your doubts," the keeper spoke softly, her voice a soothing balm in the charged atmosphere. "Take a step forward, and you will find that what lies ahead is not merely to be encountered but to be embraced." I drew in a deep breath, feeling the weight of my past and the whisper of my future align within me. At that moment, I understood, letting go was not an act of abandonment but a deliberate choice, an invitation into a larger tapestry of existence. It was the key to unearthing the infinite depths of my soul, the hidden truths that longed to be expressed. Taking the boy's hand, I felt a surge of energy flowing between us, a reminder that I was not alone in this journey. With our shared determination, we ventured deeper into the forest, each step igniting sparks of clarity and courage that we had carried close to our hearts. As the surroundings evolved, I found myself standing before a shimmering waterfall, a cascade of diamonds flowing gracefully into a radiant pool. The water sparkled like starlight, the light refracted into a spectrum of colors, creating a breathtaking mosaic. It was as if the very essence of life danced within the currents, inviting me into its depths. The boy gestured toward the water. This is where we face the reflections of our desires. Let them wash over you, and they will guide you toward the truths you seek. With a determined heart, I approached the edge of the pool and gazed into its depths. The reflections mirrored not just my physical form but animated the intangible essence of my spirit. In the water, I saw fractured images of myself, moments of ecstasy and pain, dreams stifled by fear and aspirations longing for the light. Each reflection spoke a story, a truth waiting patiently to be acknowledged. I saw visions of myself laughing with friends, traveling to distant lands, sharing my stories on a stage for everyone to hear, and pursuing passions that made my heart dance. Yet, intertwined with these joyous fragments were ghosts of regret, choices unmade, voices unexpressed, paths left unexplored. Tears welled in my eyes as I recognized how tightly I had gripped the reins of safety, how fear had spun intricate webs that tangled around my heart, tethering me to a life I had outgrown. I want to be free of this, I whispered, my voice barely rising above the gentle murmur of the waterfall. Free to explore who I am meant to be. The water shimmered in response, as though it understood my struggle. Suddenly, the keeper appeared beside me, her presence both calming and empowering. Freedom is a choice, seeker. To leap beyond your comfort zone is to embrace the beautiful chaos of living. Life is about unveiling your authentic self. Each truth you uncover will light the way for others, too. Her words seeped deeply into my heart, igniting a flicker of strength in my core. Suddenly, I felt a sense of empowerment surging through me, flooding me with warmth and clarity. With each heartbeat, I realized the power of letting go was not just a release of fears but an opening of space for the unimaginable. Courage swelled within me like the waters before me, powerful and clear. I nodded resolutely. I choose to embrace the unknown. My voice rang out strong and unwavering. With that declaration, I stepped forward, toward the cascading waters, my heart pounding with exhilaration. The moment I entered the cool embrace of the pool, shivers of clarity surged through me, as if each droplet whispered secrets of courage and transformation. A tapestry of colors enveloped me, illuminating pathways I had yet to explore. The memories of my dreams reverberated, intertwining with the essence of my being, revealing the mosaic of possibilities like threads weaving together. In an intricate design, stepping back onto the shore, I felt light, unrestrained, transformed. See how easily the water flows? The boy smiled, still holding my hand. It knows no bounds. It is time for you to embrace the flow within your own being. With newfound resolve, I turned to the keeper, grateful for her gentle guidance. Thank you for your wisdom. I see now that letting go is not a loss, but a stepping stone toward clarity, toward becoming who I am meant to be. And remember, she said, her expression imbued with warmth, what you have released creates space for the treasures yet to be unveiled. As we descended deeper into the forest, each step felt like a dance with destiny, echoes of past fears transforming into a gentle symphony of hope and aspiration. The weight of uncertainty still lingered, yet now it was a companion guiding me toward the embrace of my fullest self. With every flutter of the leaves and every glimmer of light peeking through the branches, I realized the forest was alive with wisdom, waiting to reveal itself to those brave enough to walk its labyrinth. As I breathed in the fragrant air filled with earthy warmth and ancient magic, I understood it. Life was invitation, a dance with shadows and light, an embrace of the duality of existence that created a deeper connection to the tapestry of humanity. In that profound stillness, I made a vow to myself, to continue this journey with an open heart, welcoming every joy and sorrow with grace. I turned to the boy, ready for whatever lay beyond, knowing we would uncover not just hidden truths, but the extraordinary nature of the unimaginable within us all. Together, we ventured forth, stepping boldly into the light of a brand new dawn, embracing the dance of life and the sacred gift of transformation. In that moment, I understood, to become fully alive was to embrace the journey itself, recognizing that we are forever unfolding, surrendering to the beautifully intricate tapestry of existence, where every thread, every whisper of truth, comes together to unveil the unimaginable. And so, I stepped forward, ready to awaken all the infinite possibilities that awaited, ready to embrace the grace of becoming, and in that grace, I found the truest essence of who I was always meant to be.